so I'm trying a different helmet mount. The GoPro 10 is underneath the visor of my helmet. I don't think I'll be talking that much on these videos. I got the feedback from my sister, of all people, that my comments are very negative and disparaging. That's not my goal. I just wanted to be able to talk about something and see how the audio came out, so I apologize if I've come across that way. I think I am a relatively negative person per se, but I don't want to necessarily push that out on my channel especially. So anyways, my apologies on that. I'll try to keep it more positive. However, I will say this about the GoPro 10. I don't think it's very good. The video quality is good, but it's not very consistent in terms of its interface with the app and various things. I don't think it's been hammered out, like all the little bugs. Sometimes it'll connect fine with my phone, sometimes it won't. The audio will sometimes work, sometimes it won't. Half the time it is my fault, but the other half it's not, for sure. The other thing is, I was going to do somewhat of a review on this bike. I don't think I'm necessarily qualified to do any type of review, but I'll give you my experience or my take on the bike thus far. However, I think with any review you should understand where that person's coming from. I've been riding motorcycles since, I guess, a teenager, but not that much early on, and then I started riding more after college, and I started working out here in the Bay Area. Mostly owned Ducatis. I had a 750 Monster in 96, 97. Then I had a 900 Super Sport. Then I had a 748 Super Bike. That was a 2000. And so that's kind of like my road biking experience. I recently owned a KTM 300, whatever, TPI dirt bike, 2-stroke. So I have a little bit of off-road experience, but not that much. My first video I talked about how I mountain bike a lot, so that's, I guess, a contributing factor to how I can ride this bike. So I wouldn't say I'm skilled, like super skilled. I'm not a beginner. Things are kind of intuitive to me, like how to shift and brake and whatnot, so I don't have to think about those things. However, I'm not like at the level where I'm dragging my knee anywhere, or I got really good at commuting on a bike in the Bay Area, so I would say I'm like an expert in that, but that's been a while since I've done that. So anyway, so that's my background, my experience. In terms of how it relates to this bike is extremely more comfortable than all those other bikes. You sit very upright, very relaxed. The one thing I will say is the seat, the standard seat that comes with it, kind of makes you go forward. It kind of has this like angle to it that pushes you forward. And I don't know if that's by design. It doesn't bother me that much when I'm riding, but there are times when I'm kind of like, man, it's pushing me forward, and I don't want to necessarily feel that way. It's not neutral, that's for sure. And I gotta think maybe they did that on purpose, because as you're accelerating, if you were neutral, then you'd feel like being pulled back. Anyways, the other kind of feedback I have on this bike is the cruise control isn't super intuitive to set. So much so I can't even articulate how to do it right now. So that's one thing I'm gonna say is not super intuitive. I don't know why they can't make it like any other cruise control like on a car, but I guess there's different versions on different cars. So anyways, I have yet to actually experience, or not experience I should say, I have yet to actually learn how to do the cruise control where it's like second nature to me. The handguards are really just wind guards. They're not really that sturdy, so they're more wind guards than anything else. The rear mirrors are nice. They provide plenty of visibility. They don't vibrate. The windscreen is actually very good. I like it. It's the angle is actually set perfectly to where it kicks the air above your helmet pretty well. I'm 5'8". I have a pretty average torso, I'm gonna say, so I'm not like super top long, and it's fine. Everyone asks about the heat that's generated off the exhaust of the Cat. Yeah, it's hot, but does it bother you or bother me? Not that much. The feel of the throttle is actually very good in that, like, this is my first ride by wire or throttle by wire, and it feels very analog. It feels like all the bikes I've ridden in the past, which are all cable throttles. So I'm going to say they did a very good job on that, whatever that's called, fueling, or I don't know what it's called, but they did a great job on that. Reliability, I haven't had any issues with it, although I haven't ridden the bike that much. It's got 450 miles right now. I'm not babying the bike, that's for sure. I'm just riding it like I would normally ride it during the braking period. I will take it to an Aprilia dealership to get it serviced, its first service. I think that's a warranty issue, I think. But I'll probably do everything after that. I'm a big believer in that no one's gonna care about your car or your motorcycle more than you. So I like to do all the work myself. I mean, overall, I think everything about the bike is good. The looks of the bike, that's a huge factor. I don't know whether people acknowledge that, but how the bike looks totally changes how much you enjoy the bike. I don't know what to tell you. Like, if the bike looks pretty awesome and you feel like you're looking pretty awesome, or rather I should say looking awesome, but like you like how the bike looks, that will totally change how you experience the bike, I think. So every time I'm looking at the bike, I think it's a great looking bike. And then I compare it to other bikes, especially the Tenere and BMW GS. Any of those bikes, I think this bike looks way better. The only other bike I think looks better than this bike, at least on the computer, is the Ducati, the new one. Was it Desert X or whatever? That one looks pretty cool. But it's a totally different class. It's way more expensive. This bike handles extremely well, I think. Wide handlebars. You can counter steer really easily. Just tuck it into these turns. Even if I go a little bit too hot into the turns, I'll just kind of let up on the throttle a little bit and then just kind of push counter steer a little bit more, and it just tucks in nicely. I don't really feel like it's getting too out of control, although there's some gravel on the street. The suspension is set really high, or stiff, I'm gonna say. Even for my weight, I'm about 155 or so, and this is pretty stiff, so I had to try to soften it as much as I can. Well, I should say I softened it by 3 clicks, and I'm gonna have to do a lot more, I think. That was on the compression. I didn't really touch the rebound, I don't think. I can't remember. Preload, I softened it so I would sit deeper in the travel. I think that was on the rear. I can't even remember now. I should probably jot these down. But and the thing is, I don't want to do too much because it's just the road. I mean, I'm just testing like little bumps and I'm saying, oh, that feels harsh. But I'll probably set the suspension or dial it in when I do a little bit more off-road. The reason I haven't been able to do that much off-road, the reason I'm not doing that much off-road, I should say, is because I'm waiting for more protection. I ordered engine guard, handguards, and beefier bash plate from SW Moto.